foundation, the friends that you have, all of these things, you have made it to the top.
Do you realize that mentally ill people exemplify that same belief? I'm not worried about where I'm going to eat. I'm not going to worry about if I take a bath. I'm not going to worry about your feelings. I'm just going to say what comes to my mind, and I'm going to do what the hell I want to do. That's signs of mental illness also.
But he's a fully functional adult, living in life, working, being a father.
No, what you're doing is excusing his mental health because he got money.
I'm just not going to diagnose someone when I don't have the ability, or you have the ability to make that diagnosis. All I'm saying is, from my perspective, if I was sitting at a place where I don't have to worry about if I do this is going to affect me on any kind of way. I love what I do. All of my other basic needs are taken care of, and they will probably be taken care of for the rest of my life. I might say some stuff that people may be like, she has mental illness. But in reality, it's like, this is what I've been thinking. I just hadn't had the ability to say it. And then you could whisper, when Dana said that dragons poop out unicorns and unicorns fart rainbows, you
what
can
she
go
meant
like,
was your meal that she's preparing today. Full of
we can drink to that. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And
just interpreted that.
And the only person who
Welcome to another episode of Diva Court. We've got a hot show for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the stage is your host, Marsha Mignot, and my co-diva.
I'm doing Morse code because I feel like I'm being held hostage by all these liberals.
She is being held
hostage.
hostage.
See that Morse code?
Ma'am,
you see it?
Who are you?
Shut your mouth.
He said, could you go get Dana, please, and bring her back?
Please,
we have
Sean.
a special guest.
We have a special guest subbing for us today.
Special co-diva.
Come save me. I'm being
This is
harassed
Shayna.
by liberals.
Sitting with me in a chair for Dana is Shayna.
It's Zane. Zane.
Candace.
Oh, Candace is sitting in today.
I'll play Candace. She be
Candace
making that
Bowen.
money.
Candace
I'm not
Smith.
mad. She speaks very well, and she makes that money.
We're not responsible for anything she's going to say today. Nor do we own the rights to any topics we're going to talk about. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this show is for edutainment purposes only.
I thought since you changed the introduction, it's going to be shorter, but it just got real longer.
You just mad because you can't interrupt my monologue. Please look for our episodes every Wednesday. We push them out for you on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to catch our videos every week on YouTube, where we bring the colors and the beauty. Check out our looks. Let us know what you want us to wear. And if it's your favorite color, we'll be making sure we push it out for you. This episode is sponsored by Cutie Nails and Spa in Midtown. Cutie Nails and Spa is offering manicures, pedicures,
Those two.
facials,
Get it done.
and lashes. You go over to Cutie Nails and Spa, and they don't have a harem, so don't go look for one. And let a cutie take care of you. Now, Candace, what do you think about you and Kanye's experience when y'all
Whatever's
went
going to make me money, honey.
and put on a T-shirt that says "White Lives Matter"?
Oh, but they do. You act like you don't know.
Let me ask you a question, Candace.
It's just an obvious statement.
Was there any confusion about whether white lives mattered or not when you placed that writing on the back of your T-shirt?
It was just a reminder because everybody was just thinking that Black Lives Matter. And, you know, all lives matter wasn't specific enough. So I had to make sure that I said white.
Wow.
Yes.
Listeners, what are we talking about? We're talking about Candace and Kanye, the cray-crays.
Why I gotta be crazy? When I don't understand.
Okay,
fact
so you
or
think
fiction?
you
It's
think,
a fact.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think
You don't think
Kanye's-
white lives matter?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Kanye's sane?
Do I think?
Do you think he has mental illnesses?
It's not my place to judge. I don't
Okay,
know.
let's not talk about judge. Let's not talk about judge.
Let me just say this.
Okay.
Let me say this. As I don't know if I'm saying this as Dana or Candace. I'm gonna go with Dana.
Dandis. Yeah.
Dandis.
Say it as Dandis.
Dandis.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if he's insane. I feel like they slap a label.
I changed my words. I changed my words. Let's not use insane.
Okay.
Do you think he has mental illness?
I don't know because I haven't met the man. I only hear what the media puts out about him.
Have you ever watched anything that he said?
Finish. When I sit there and listen to him from beginning to end without it being cut and analyzed and edited, I'm like, that is the point. And I understand your point. And then I can understand how that point doesn't come across properly because you got people who misinterpret what he say, or they only give you a clip of what he says, which sounds crazy, you know. So I say all that to say I don't slap a mental illness label on him because I feel like they give mental illness to everybody. If you don't do what they think you should be doing or what they think, when he said George Bush don't like black people, you know, everybody was Team Kanye, except for those white people who thought it's something wrong with him. But now that he's saying stuff that you don't like, now he got mental illness. I don't know. I mean, I would be depressed if I had to be with Kim.
Well, look at here.
You know,
you chose to be with Kim. Let's stop right there.
Yeah, but I think
you didn't get forced into a relationship with Kim.
You were coerced.
I'm not Kanye.
Concrete.
You were
If you were coerced into one, then that's your problem.
I think
you
Kanye,
have enough money.
I think Kanye make moves for the sake of being. I feel like they have a very similar path where I think the Kardashians make moves just to be known. Something crazy they done did is the minute that their storyline dies down, something crazy just happens. Whereas Kanye just makes moves off of I'm just gonna move, and if it affects somebody or if it doesn't affect somebody, that's fine with me. I feel like he's living his, I don't want to say best life, but living in his truth. Like, who can just go around saying whatever and have enough money where who cares about the consequences?
I think he is what money will do is give you time, and what time will do is give you more time to think about things that you aren't comfortable with. And what that will do is allow you to listen to other people who can often try to manipulate, and because they've realized how powerful your voice is and what your brand is, right? They look at you as a brand and not a person, and they kind of guide you in a direction to say, oh no, I have the answer to that, right? And if you made this statement, that would be like everybody would get it, or like that's his ideas.
But I think he creates these ideas in his head. When I was watching his documentary, he was like that when he didn't have money. He says things that if you are not vibing, and if you don't vibe with him, it sounds crazy. If you don't take the time to kind of understand what he's saying, it can come off crazy as well.
No, I agree, but that's why it's like very important. Like, no one's honed his creative or no one's taught him to think inside his head.
I get what you're saying. It's just like, I can sit here, and I've said this all the time, I can sit here and be like, blah, 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 and it makes no sense. And in my head, it makes so much sense. But when it comes out, I can like, damn, what the hell you just said? But you like a Dana whisperer, and you be like, what she meant is, I think it's like that.
Okay.
And he just doesn't have, like you said, a whisperer to say this is what he meant.
So let me whisper this in the mic.
Oh, okay.
He behaves and exemplifies conduct of someone who is mentally ill.
Do you have?
And let me tell you,
a degree, a doctorate.
I have a bachelor's in psychology.
A bachelor's in psychology too.
So I've learned some things about human behavior and human conduct, negative reinforcement, positive reinforcement, and signs of mental illness. And he has signs.
I
of
think
mental
he has
illness.
signs of self-actualization.
There's always
you like how I did that?
No, I disagree.
No,
I think
no,
I
ma'am.
think
No,
he
ma'am.
does.
Let me tell you something.
I
He
think
is
he's not, because when you say signs of wow,
Woo, are you having a Dana moment?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's a Danica.
actualization.
Yes.
Right. It sounds as if you have answers.
No. That's
So-
not what. No.
No, I'm telling you how your words come across.
I
Like
know, but
would
just
tell
because
Kanye.
people.
he's whispering Dana.
Doing-
He's a Dana whisperer.
But the definition of self-actualization does not necessarily mean you have the answers. It means you're sitting comfortable in life where you have no worries about your basic shelter, your basic what you're gonna eat, foundation, the friends that you have, all of these things. You have made it to the top.
Do you realize
of
that
the
mentally
pyramid.
ill people exemplify that same belief? I'm not worried about
What
where
I'm-
I'm going to eat. I'm
it
not going to
doesn't
worry
matter.
about if
That
I
don't-
take a bath. I'm not going to worry about your
But
feelings.
that's
I'm just
not-
going to say what comes to my
Okay, but
mind, and I'm
that's
going to do
not-
what the hell I want to do.
that's not-
That's signs of mental illness
That's
also.
not, but he's a fully functional adult, living in life, working, being a father.
No, what you're doing is
doing things
excusing
like that. I'm
his
not
mental
excusing
health
things.
because he got
I'm
money.
just not gonna diagnose someone when I don't have the ability, or you have the ability to make that diagnosis. All I'm saying is, from my perspective, if I was sitting at a place where I don't have to worry about if I do this is gonna affect me on any kind of way. I love what I do. All of my other basic needs are taken care of, and they will probably be taken care of for the rest of my life. I might say some stuff that people may be like, she has mental illness. But in reality, it's like, this is what I've been thinking. I just hadn't had the ability to say it. And then you could whisper, when Dana said that dragons poop out unicorns and unicorns fart rainbows, you
What
can
she
go
meant
like, what
was
she
your
meant.
meal that she's preparing today.
Right.
Full of...
We can drink to that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And
just
that's
interpreted that.
And the only person who probably had the ability to interpret the way he moves
Is
was
another cray-cray
was
person.
no,
Because
was his-
crazy knows crazy.
No, was his mom. I feel like his mom was able to.
I don't think she was interpreting for that boy. She was checking him. She was the gatekeeper, and she was keeping the gate on him. It's
I
like
agree.
Mike Tyson. Remember when Mike Tyson lost that mentor in his life, that person who could let him think out loud in a private room and tell him, nah, you can't think that out loud.
Well, he
and yes,
doesn't-
you can think that out loud. That's what Kanye lost when he lost his mother. He lost what Tyson lost when Tyson lost his manager, who was the mentor who was able to keep Tyson and those creative thoughts and the things that he would do in check.
And what I believe is that he does not have a strong black woman in his
Girl,
life.
bye if you think only a black woman can check him, because a white man
It's
was
not
checking
even-
Tyson.
It's not about checking him. It's about bring you back to foundational things. So you can.
I don't
live
think
in
his
that.
issues are foundational.
She's saying that. All right, by she I mean your whole main diva,
Diva one.
Diva.
Well, I'm Diva. What number
No,
one? Which
Diva
Diva? What
two?
name are we going? Are we talking about
Diva
Candace?
one and Diva two?
Danzis? Who are we talking about? Which Diva? Because I'm like three of them today.
Candace.
Dandis.
Dana, just Dana. Which one are we talking about?
No. So no, I think the point that is trying to be made is it doesn't matter who the person is. It's just got to be someone who actually does care about you and doesn't see any.
Don't see you as an
Don't
opportunity.
Correct.
see you as a come up.
Yeah.
Correct. And it's
if
not
someone-
using you as a
if you said-
platform.
yeah. If someone
Yeah.
saw you and was like, oh, no, I don't need none of that. We can't say that. Don't go out there and do that.
Yeah, you about to look real
but
foolish.
that's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Right? He's so damaged that he can't trust
Anybody.
Yeah.
So if someone's really out there saying, no, don't do that.
He still can't
It's
trust
like
him.
you don't
You s-
want
yeah.
me to be great.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're
And
stifling my
someone-
creativity.
Exactly. And then it's someone who's like pushing you to do those types
Manipulating
of things.
you.
And manipulate. yeah,
Beat
try to
yourself.
say-
You're Kanye.
Yeah.
You're an artist.
And I
You're
think-
wealthy.
I
You don't
think
have to answer to
That's
anybody.
I think that's
Wear
another
that.
thing that goes to his self-actualization. I feel like he's an island on his own. Like he out here
No,
by himself.
I agree. It's exactly.
But I don't think that's necessarily mental illness. It's maybe it comes off at mental illness because you don't have a anchor.
Let me
know
ask
what
you a
I'm saying?
question.
So you're just out
What
here.
category do you put paranoia under?
a healthy bit of paranoia is always good. That's why I stay strapped. I don't feel like nobody gonna run up on me.
What you
but
say?
I
Not
stay
because you're
strapped.
paranoid don't mean they're not out to get you. Is that it?
Is. See how you just interpret what I said? I'm over here like, that's why I stay strapped in these streets. I don't play no games. And you're like a healthy parent, you know. So all I'm saying is that I feel like again, I'm not an expert in diagnosing people, but I don't get mental illness. I just
how about we say it this way? Because when we put illness on it, and that's why words are powerful, because of the energy you put behind them or you interpret in it.
Maybe I should say mentally imbalanced, because mental health,
because it's not necessarily that
requires
illness draws inferences of medication
or something wrong
or something necessarily wrong. It's just like you need someone to like talk through this with you before you come out here.
They didn't understand Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not comparing him to Jesus.
I know that's right. I'm like,
but
hello.
there's a lot of
check that for the listeners.
People.
First of all, I'm pretty sure we've killed Jesus quite a few times already in history.
There's a lot of people.
I'm sure he's like,
they didn't understand Malcolm
trying
X
to come back,
and they keep killing me. Please stop killing Jesus.
You know, they didn't understand Malcolm X. There's a lot of
No. Let's take that back. They understood Malcolm X, and that's why they wanted to suppress that voice quickly. Oh, they knew he was articulate. They knew his message, and they knew.
I wasn't comparing him as far as articulation.
No. They didn't misunderstand him. There are people that we do misunderstand in public. You understand? And the purpose for which they try to do the
when
things
the white girl went up to Malcolm and says, "Malcolm, what can I do to help the cause?" Mind your business. I knew that to mean like
you can't help me with this.
It's not your fight.
You can't help me with
this.
So
she was so devastated.
But that was different though. That's not them not understanding him. You understand? That's her understanding him and asking, "How can I help?" And he's saying, "You can't. Stay in your lane is how you can help. Don't mess it up because this is complex."
Right, but he didn't have to go. He didn't go into detail about. Let me explain to you why you can't.
No, some people don't do that.
You don't necessarily like. All right, when he says you can't help, I don't say, "Oh, that man is crazy."
Right, you don't.
Right, but what?
Or I don't understand.
Correct. Or he has mental illness.
Right, but that's because you vibe with him.
Not necessarily.
The white girl is like, but I can do so many.
But she's
things.
vibing too. That's why she's asking.
I know, but but once he said that, I'm pretty sure that threw her off.
Yeah,
and then she joined the KKK.
But do you understand that it's? Allegedly.
Oh, so
allegedly.
So wait. Yeah. If I can't join the Black Panthers, I'm gonna join the KKK.
They rejected me.
We only have two options.
White power.
Black power, white power.
Because that's the difference. It's like you understand, right? You understand. You want to help. But you don't understand why you can't help.
Let me say this.
That's different
I really
than
wasn't,
not understanding the person.
Period.
You're like, oh, no,
period.
No, I
Listen,
get this.
I really wasn't dedicated to that analogy. I was just talking shit. You ain't got to analyze it. You ain't got to make it make sense. I'm just out here.
You don't want no whisper on that?
Nah, I don't need no whisper. It was just me running my mouth. I thought
whisper.
you would have got that when I said
You said
KKK.
don't whisper.
You ain't got to whisper on that. That one don't need to be interpreted.
I supplemented the joke. I supplemented and then provided edutainment.
Edutainment purposes.
Yeah, but no,
only.
I think, and one thing you and I were talking about was that I feel like Kanye's message was, there's the joke. But what you were saying, like when Candace attaches herself to
correct.
Kanye,
that's the problem. Kanye's made a mistake.
No, I think you said it. It changes the dynamic.
When Candace was
I don't think
included.
he made no mistake. He has to say white lives matter. I mean, his kid is half white, so white lives have to matter to him. His wife that still probably is in love with is white.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think white people call a half black child?
I mean, in his head.
In our heads. Okay. But I don't want to get in his head.
It just depends.
I don't want to get in his head.
That's the beauty of this game.
No, this game is
look at the borderline and you're like,
this game is if you can pass for white, if you can pass, just like the Tyler Perry movie. You know, Tyler Perry just put out his Netflix show, Jazz Man or something like that. And that's it. In that movie was a black woman.
Don't be telling ain't no spoiler alerts. Ain't no, you ain't said. I ain't
okay.
said.
This is not a spoiler alert. If she just
I don't
goes
wanna-
over the plot.
Yeah, I'm only going over the
plot.
passing. The plot is about passing.
Okay.
You understand? But the thing about it is if you can pass what they call a black person who can pass for white is white woman. That's what they call him. My point is, as it pertains to Kanye, I don't think he is processing my children are half white. I think he just sees his children as these are my children and this is what I want for my children. I think he. No. A black man who actually realizes that his children are growing up in a world where race matters, and he goes out in public wearing a t-shirt on his back that says white lives matter is disconnected. Hold on, let me make my point.
That's why I'm saying
disconnected from how it could affect his children who get up and say, I identify with blacks.
But that's what I'm saying. You proving my point. He's disconnected. He believes that his child is half black and half white. So white lives matter. If you are a
well,
parent,
we can't say what he believes if you can't diagnose him mentally ill. Because now,
you are a person,
now you in his head telling me what he believes.
Are you gonna let me?
No, because you got to tell me how you believe.
I'm agreeing with you.
How you believe?
Chillax.
How you believe?
If you are a person who has a black child who happens to have a white father, you just like, this my black child. Like this, you don't, like you said, you don't even see this child as white. You see your child as black who happens to have a white husband. You don't really go into that half and half type.
So
thing.
if he sees his child as black, he's mentally ill if he wears a t-shirt that could psychologically ruin his child's future.
I didn't say he's seen his child as black. I think he sees his child as half black, half white.
And what do you use to determine that, Diva, if you're not mentally diagnosing him? Because we're not qualified.
A mental diagnosis.
We're not qualified.
No, what you're saying is,
yeah.
How are you?
You're okay with going in his head?
No, where
from
did
his
you draw
song.
from
Left your ass for a white girl.
Wow. So you went to a song, which is art, to determine how he really feels?
He did exactly that. So it was just him,
Oh, so you're thinking art is mimicking reality?
Saying he was projecting his future. Prophesizing it is what we call it in the church. I feel like he does see, I feel like he sees color. I feel like he identifies. I feel like it was an opportunity for him to get with Kim. I don't think it was necessarily off of love. I think he moves off of opportunity.
It's publicity stunts.
I don't think so.
I think they had a publicity stunt.
No, I think he honestly does have those emotions and feelings, and because again, when you get to this level of like loving Kim.
Oh no, I think he is now.
No, I don't. I
you know
think
how you
before,
can be set up. You know how back in the day, the hey day, you were married off to someone. And it was an arranged marriage, and then eventually you fall in love with someone. I think it was moving off of arrangement. There's nothing that the Kardashians don't do that is not
no. That's separate.
But
that's separate and apart from him.
That's the Kardashians doing something versus Kanye doing something.
So that's why I'm saying like her motives
might have been different.
Her motives were that reason.
Publicity.
Was truly love or not? I can't. I honestly can't determine, but my belief.
Well, you're talking about somebody who had a 72-day marriage.
That's what I'm saying.
My best friend had the hottest woman in music. He got Beyonce. So I went and got the hottest social media, whatever she did. That's
the hottest woman in sex scandal.
That's what he said.
No, but that's what you could say, right?
No. That's what he said.
No,
I didn't say it.
No. When I say you, I'm talking about him. That's what he can say, right? That's what he can say. But like, if you look at the interaction previous to their marriage, they've had interaction, and he's had appearances on the Kardashian show before they got married.
Right, but I think he speaks his to his truth when he speaks.
No. I understand, but motives aren't singular. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No. I definitely understand that. Yeah. But when you live your life in the shadow of Jay-Z.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, what can I do to compete with
that? Is that a motive? Yes. Complete motive. Yes.
But that's not love.
But that's not all the motives.
I think his driving.
I'm telling you that your husband is with
have the best
because you are amazing, and also because you look pretty. Because if you was ugly,
I would still have a man because I'm
no. But you
my
wouldn't have him.
personality.
No, you wouldn't have him
You
because he said you can have another man, but you can't have me.
If I can't have
Trust me, baby.
He'd have been like, take your ugly behind to your man that way
Baby, there is a man out there for
for you, but it's not me.
I'm just saying that I feel like his drive is off of being the best, whatever he thinks the best
Of
is.
course. No,
We all are.
So I
everyone's
think his
motivated.
initial motive. That's what I'm saying as far as
I don't
calculated.
know. I will
Calculated.
say, all right, if we measure who loves who more,
I would say he loves her more.
oh yeah.
into unfairly and gossip and page 6 this,
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
No, I definitely agree with what you're saying.
And who cares about their? All right, that's too
Kids
far.
more?
I'll pause.
You about to
there.
say who cares? No.
I'll pause there. Because I don't like to assign
Make,
who loves your
make it
kids
plain.
more.
Right.
Make it plain. What you gonna say?
Well, you see, if you're going by
All
actions,
right, how about I say this? I genuinely believe Kanye loves his kids. There we go.
yeah,
A little more.
yeah.
I didn't measure. I did not measure.
Well, here's the thing.
I honestly, when he says anything about his kids, I honestly believe.
Yeah,
anything
yeah. He
says.
comes across credible.
Yeah, I
Very
just,
credible.
I believe that everything that in Kim's life is an accessory.
Could be because when you're a superficial person, all you care about is how it looks, what people say, and how
Yeah.
much money you can make off of it.
Yeah.
That appearance can come across very clearly. Now, I'm not saying as a mother
Did you
she don't
hear,
love her kids.
She been black catfishing, blackfishing. What is it called? Blackfishing? Is it blackfishing?
Have
Have you ever heard of blackfishing?
Is
Well,
that
didn't
where you
she-
pretend to be black, or
Yes, that's what you.
Didn't she
pretend
get
to be
a
black.
judgment against her for some Bitcoin something going on? She got a judgment
I
against
know
her.
that she
She
had
gotta
been
pay. She gotta pay something back.
emulating Naomi Campbell's look.
I didn't think that was her. I thart that was somebody
No,
else.
that was Kim. And then she
The lips.
also
I
did.
thought it was somebody. I thought it was no, not Kylie. The art. What's his name? Bieber's wife. They jumped on Bieber's wife recently
talking
about
about-
putting the lips together and saying, natural lips with lip gloss on it. And they jumped on her because she pretended like it was her look.
No,
and
I
it
wasn't
came from
talking
Naomi.
About that. I was talking about more so for the last couple of years. Like Naomi just started speaking on it. Like
Okay.
hey,
Stop trying to look like me.
if you're gonna look, shout out,
Give me my credit.
give me credit. Where
She went
credit's
Khalees on her. Callous.
due. Right.
I just think wearing a T-shirt marked White Lives Matter during a controversial season, and I call it a season because for some years now we've been having issues with why the term Black Lives Matter got created. And it was in response to the number of black men that were being gunned down across this country in police interactions.
And women.
And women. That wearing that T-shirt to me discounts and kind of defecates on the cause and what's going on and the lives of the people whose family members have died as a result of that inappropriate conduct.
And also the Black Lives Matter organization has put a damper on that too as well.
Well, the problem you have is when a movement becomes so broad that it has to include everybody's cause, that's a problem. And that's why when you have a movement such as Black Lives Matter, you have to stay focused. I've said this on a Diva Court episode before, so listeners, go look at all number 53 of them.
It's like it was like on their website, Black Lives Matter. We don't support the paternal family. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
it's too broad. It needs to stay focused on just police interactions, acts of violence of law enforcement against people of color, and training law enforcement on how to respond to someone of color in the same manner they respond to someone who is white.
And it also needs to be focused on community-based organizations to give kids other opportunities than
Correct, because
what's
if you
happening in the
suck
neighborhood.
opportunities out of the community and you leave people with no option other than crime to feed themselves or their family, then you have created the problem you're claiming you're fighting. So it's negative reinforcement of behavior that you want to go away, or positive reinforcement of behavior that you want to go away.
you can't keep doing the back end and we're gonna fix it by throwing everyone in jail without
Fixing the root of the
recognizing
problem.
where the problem actually is coming from. Do people do bad? Yes.
Of course,
They
they're
will do
bad people. They're bad people.
matter
And
if
no
they're
matter what
given
you do,
every opportunity,
they're
do
going to
bad.
be bad because
Or they'll just make a decision like
they're
that.
just Jeffrey
But let me
Dahmers.
tell you,
I'm
don't-
going to eat people.
You don't.
You see
want
that
others-
Netflix series?
Yeah, he was. Did you finally see it?
I saw some of it. I haven't seen all of it. It's too gruesome to watch all at once.
Is
Oh,
it?
yes.
I was watching it back to back, and then I was dreaming about it too.
See, that's my
That's
point.
because them demonic spirits. I mean, he was a whole Satanist. They didn't
No.
go into detail about that, but it
No,
was
but
a
that's
thing.
my point. When you're a phlebotomist and you pulling people's blood and carrying it home and drinking it, and drinking people's
drink to
blood.
that.
No, we're not drinking to that. No, ma'am. But that's my point is that when you make your
Now that-
cause,
There's some mental illness in there.
trust me, there's a lot
That's
of
the
mental
dem-
illness in there.
demonic
And I know
spirits.
you're willing to diagnose that one because it's related to God and Satan.
Yes.
So I see why you're okay with that, Miss Conservative.
Satan is
Okay,
alive and
Dandis and Dandis.
well. Satan is alive and well. He had his Satan Bible on.
No, my
They didn't
point.
go into detail. I bet you he was doing
Listen
all
to me.
types of
Listen
satanic
to me.
worship. They
That
didn't wanna go
boy
into
had
detail
so
about
many
that.
issues that leave Kanye long enough and he will have Jeffrey Dahmer issues, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because his mother left him. You understand? He was 17 years old and his
Oh,
mother
he was
left
crazy
him.
before that. He was
No.
already killing people before his
No,
mother
no,
left.
no, not before she left him. He was going to clubs and meeting people and drugging them. He hadn't started killing yet. You understand? Remember he started off slow and
No,
worked
I
his
think
way
he-
up. He was
okay.
drugging people first at the clubs. And that's how he drugged the little 14-year-old that staggered to the steps, and the black lady that was next door, found the kid and called the police
Well,
and all
that
that
was
good
before
stuff.
his mama. That
No,
was
no, no.
after his mama.
No,
left
but
him.
my point to you was some of his conduct was associated with just drugging these people.
No, the first he killed. Okay, yeah, his mama did leave him. 'cause
Yeah,
he was
his
staying with
mom left.
grandmama
His
when
mom
he
left, and he was with grandma, and
his
she was
first
trying to tell
guy.
him about God and all this stuff. And I don't want to go to
church,
He-
Grandma. Where's my Satan Bible? Like, did grandma? Why grandma ain't see the Satan Bible?
But back
All
to
she know
Kanye
is,
and
Johnny,
Candace.
It's a little smelly in here.
Back to Kanye and Candace. You don't put on a t-shirt like that when you're a person of color, because you send several person of color who has a
Well,
platform. Let me put
Candace-
it that way. Person of color who has a platform, and you can be used to be able to discount movements that are trying to make change that the whole country can benefit from.
Who do you think is Candace's audience? What's her majority audience, do you think?
Just copy and paste Fox News.
Yeah.
White. And hence, the white lives
No,
matter.
that's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like for me,
But it's a publicity stunt for
well,
her.
yeah,
and she thinks it's
exactly,
okay
right? The
as long as
issue-
she's making money off of
The
it.
issue is
So
if
why is it
Kanye
not okay?
did it
It's
in
capitalism.
parody, right? If Kanye did it in parody,
By himself.
I get it. If it's by himself,
It's a joke.
I get it. Parody. I did it because, duh.
You know, Lauryn Hill daughter had on one. It's at the fashion show, so they
Yeah.
were passing these shirts out.
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill daughter had one on too.
That's my point. Is see how many people you're leading astray?
Because you know, Lauryn Hill is all the way.
Yeah. And speaking of leading people astray, Herschel Walker in the state of Georgia, listeners, is running for senator against Senator Warnock. Raphael Warnock is running for his seat again because the seat he took was one that was going to expire sooner than the second seat.
Radical leftist Raphael Warnock.
Liberal, radical,
Yeah.
liberal,
Radical
Get the
liberal
R.
leftist Raphael
Warnock. That is what's going on. But let's talk about
Kelly Loeffler. Radical leftist
Now we got Dandis.
Raphael Warnock.
now we got Dana Loeffler,
My name is Kelly Loeffler.
Deli Loeffler.
Let me just tell you about radical leftist Raphael Warnock.
Look here. Herschel Walker is running for senator. The controversy arose from listeners when he decided to say he's against abortions for any means. Any reason. Any means, any
did
reason.
He say any means? Let me say.
Hey,
I heard.
hey, listen
hold
to
on.
me.
Let me just say this right quick. I heard the clip, and he was like, "Any reason." That's it. Now I don't know if they.
so hold
if
on.
he said any reason outside of. I
No.
don't know.
So, all right, let me tell you this.
No, hold on.
Let's
So you
see.
think he thought the mic was a gun and he was scared? So he said, any
No,
reason.
I don't know. What I'm saying is,
But he didn't
that
really mean it?
when I watch these political ads, because I have seen the media cut and paste and copy and stop and cut off.
Why you keep saying the media? It's
Yeah.
the
The party.
two
The party.
party.
running people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
it's
The people who are
political
running
ads.
his party.
The parties.
Because all the media did was sell you a slot.
All the ads. I see the ads that they cut off little pieces where it make them sound real crazy. You know what I'm
So
saying?
the opposition party is cutting up a clip and using it against the person they're running
right,
against.
but it will be just like 3 words. Any reason I can't eat strawberries because I'm allergic. You know what I'm saying? But they done cut off.
Okay, so
Raphael Warnock doesn't like abortions for any reason. I said any reason. You know, but the whole sentence would be
So
I
can-
can't
the
eat all
issue is-
strawberries.
If that was what would happen, you put an ad out.
I mean, he ain't that smart.
and you would play.
Come on now. Have we
Now I
heard of-
drink to that. I take several sips.
When I saw them put him up there, I was like, are they trying to lose?
Yeah, that's what one of the Republican senators
Like,
came
are
out
they
on Fox
trying to
News and
lose?
said he only got selected because he's a football player and he's Donald Trump's friend. Because he said that's just
Why don't they just say he only got selected because
he was black. Because he's a white man, he can't say that. That would not be
okay.
appropriate.
See, Kanye would have said it.
Oh, really?
I'm not saying, I'm just saying he would have just, you know.
He wouldn't have said it because he's a Trump supporter. And he
don't
thinks
think
that
so.
he thinks that Warnock is
I
just
don't
as smart
think-
as he is, and they can both be senators.
I
I'm sorry, he can be president. We can have President Kanye, and then we can have
said
Senator.
Warnock?
No, President Kanye West. He was running for president, and then we can have Herschel Walker as a senator. And then the two of them can go past bills.
No.
Let me tell you that. Right? China had the good air. China had the good air that we used to have, because the air that we used to have was good air. Now that good air.
So are y'all being racist
That
against
good
black?
air.
No, we just
now that good
reenacting
air-
what he
wait,
did.
wait, yeah.
But you know,
That's how
there
he
were
sounded.
some slaves who used to
Nah,
sound like that.
No.
I'm
Hold on, let him
Raphael
finish.
Warnock, and I just want to let you know
That I don't kick
that I'm here.
puppies. I don't
I'm
kick
here.
puppies.
For the people.
I'm here for the people,
Yeah.
and I didn't put a gun to my wife's head.
I may have ran.
And also,
hold
I'm not
on,
against-
hold on.
I'm not against,
I may
not
have-
against the
I
boys.
may have ran
Do
her
you see how it's
over.
not racist? Hold
Yeah.
on. First, you see
Yeah.
how it's not. I
Yeah.
just did a black man.
Yeah.
I just did another black man.
I'm good with
now
that.
let me go back to the,
You
to the-
did.
to the original black
I
man.
didn't. No.
Listen, Mr. Warnock, let me tell you now. And then what you gonna do about our good air going
went over
to
to China.
China's good? Because I have a plan. We're gonna suck the air.
You forgot the part where he said, I may not have put a gun to my wife's head, but I did run her toe over. Well, we ain't going to say that?
No,
That's
we're not
'cause
going to say that.
Well, we not going to
Hey,
say Why we not
'cause
going to say
here's
that?
why
it
we not
didn't
gonna say
happen.
that. It
They
did
said
happen.
that.
No.
They
They said it
that
didn't
last
happen.
time.
Yeah.
They said
It
that last
happened.
time, and what
And they had
happened?
to walk away
Kelly
from it,
Loeffler had
'cause
to
it's not
say,
true.
Radical liberal.
Yeah, that's the only thing she
Radical
had. That's the only thing she had.
Radical liberal. You was
all
giving
she
her
had.
too much energy.
But
Sorry.
listen to me.
Radical
Herschel
liberal.
said, I don't believe in abortions. And I'm going to sue. And the woman said, let me get the receipts. And when she got the receipts, I don't see the lawsuit. Can I have the lawsuit, sir?
I believe that he
Could you please
even if he did file the lawsuit, you know how long it takes for a lawsuit to go through the
No,
system?
could you at least file it so I can
The
see the complaint?
whole, because what I was listening to.
Can I see the complaint, though? I just want to see the allegation.
That
was-
makes it even more like of a reason to file the complaint.
Lawsuit. Yeah, because you know it would
Because you
take
can
a while.
always-
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're not that smart? That's what you're
I'm
saying?
That's what I'm saying. I said one of
You're saying he's not that smart because he would have filed a lawsuit
what I'm
to make it
saying
look like a
is-
lie.
No, what I'm saying is I was listening to 95.5 and one of the commentators was like, it has to be true because he said he was going to file a lawsuit. So and tomorrow, so we'll see. And then my response in my head was just like, you know how long that takes? Like, even if he did file a lawsuit, so what? He files a lawsuit.
No. You can be sanctioned for filing frivolous lawsuits. So he's not going to spend any money
He got
on.
campaign funds. He
Oh,
can
okay. He
transfer
can use
those
that
over.
for the lawsuits like those. Oh, okay, I guess you can do whatever
All
you
he
want
has
to
to do is file it, and then the election is in like 3 weeks.
Once you
and
file
then
it,
you dismiss
once
it.
you file it,
That's what I'm saying.
you better
dismiss
dismiss it before my answer is due or before you serve me. Because guess what? If you serve me with that lawsuit, even if that case is dismissed, I can still seek sanctions in the state of Georgia against you for filing a frivolous lawsuit.
No,
So-
not if you quickly remove it.
Right.
You just file it.
You
File and take it back down.
and
Take
then
it down quick.
When you have the first like when they're like, "Oh, we want no, actually,
Never mind.
File it.
we gonna take that lawsuit back."
We
Okay.
because we need to revise it.
It's
And then we'll file it
It's
after
not-
the campaign.
And we'll
it's
file
not
it
right.
again.
It's not right
Later.
yet.
Later.
We gotta
No, but
revise it.
listeners, Herschel Walker's son came out, and that makes this controversy even worse. It makes it worse because now you have your child that is looking at a card because a woman says, "You're going to file a lawsuit because you said I lied. I'm going to show receipts." So hold on.
Wait.
She
He did not even know it her.
Yes, he did.
He was like, I don't know who that is.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they was like, that's the mother of one of your kids.
That's when it went, "Oh, so I guess I can't sue?"
No, that's good. It's
So I
like,
can't
he's
sue?
such a
Let me
liar.
tell you what happened. Was they took the bad girlfriends,
Yeah. And put them in
and
the
they
good
put
girlfriends
that-
spot.
Yeah.
and they put that over there,
Over in
in
China.
And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they made them get abortions.
Yeah, that's what they did.
That's what happened
And then
right
the bad
And
air is
what-
still in me because I'm full of
What happened was
I'm full of bad air.
Raphael Warnock
Yeah.
Don't
Wants to
believe-
divide. He wants to
He-
I
divide.
need to
He
know
wanna
when
divide.
is this
He wants to
debate?
divide.
It is going
He
to
don't-
be
He don't
hilarious.
believe.
He want to divide us.
He don't believe in redemption.
Okay. So this is how the debate is gonna go. Listeners,
When is it? When is it?
This week. We're gonna
I think it's
reenact
weekend or this
we're gonna reenact the debate.
Okay.
So this is how the debate is gonna go. Ask me a question. You're senator.
So, what are your policies when it what are your policies when it comes to everyday policing?
What to the hip hop the hip hop you know rock it to the bang bang boogie. So up jump the boogie to the
excuse
rhythm
me,
of
sir.
the boogie to beat.
Excuse me, sir. I don't think we know that
Vote
language.
vote for me.
Excuse me, sir. Sir. So, you said you were going to sue,
Yeah.
and as of today,
Mm-hmm.
we do not see a lawsuit on file.
See, because I'm waiting on the good air to come back. the bad air is still here, COVID. And China got the good air. And that's where my lawyer's at.
Your son said.
Son? You mean the sunshine?
Your son said.
A son. Okay.
You know, the one that was supporting you throughout your campaign. That he
Mm-hmm.
never wanted you to run for office,
Oh, you did?
but you did anyways.
Oh.
He also said that you were going to air out all your dirty laundry, and he
What?
said that you didn't do that.
He'll lie because I don't have laundry. Okay. And second of all, I love my son no matter what.
That's the exact line. That's the line I was gonna pull. Let me tell you, he don't know shit.
Hey.
But I love my son no matter
Yeah.
what. He's a lying bastard, but I love that boy.
Yeah.
Is he married?
I ain't raised none of them
Is he
children.
married?
Who?
Who, the son?
Her?
Herschel.
Well, let me tell you something about marriage.
Yeah.
When you take marriage in the good area,
Send it over in the bad area, become a bad marriage.
Marriage divides.
Yes,
And-
it does.
And that's what Raphael Warnock
He's
wanna
trying to do.
You trying to marry y'all.
I can't even take no more.
You can't. You had enough. You need a drink. Oh my God.
I don't
Yeah,
know
this-
what they're gonna do.
Hey, listeners,
don't
I
know what
can't
the
wait.
Republican Party
This is going to be the most watched debate ever. It's
might
better
be-
than Hillary.
It might be better
Hey.
than Trump.
It's going to be better than Hillary and Trump. Trust me. It's going to be better than
Trump,
Mike Tyson
let me tell
lineup
you.
with a
Trump-
Holyfield fight.
Trump called-
Buster Douglas fight. This is going to be good.
Trump called, what's your boy's name? On national air, ugly.
Fox.
What's your boy's name? Not Marco Rubio, the other one.
In Florida?
The one in Texas.
The Texas governor?
Ted Cruz.
Ted
Oh.
Cruz, yeah.
He was like, that's why your wife ugly.
No, this is going to be. Let me
And
tell
your
you something.
daddy, your
What?
daddy
I
was
bet you
a-
bottom. I'm going to make a bet. I promise you.
Your daddy killed Martin Luther King and JFK.
Before
You can
the
get the
debate
document.
is over,
They're gonna
I
cancel.
guarantee you, Herschel Walker will say this.
I'll resign.
Raphael Warnock don't believe in forgiveness because I have a mental illness.
This thing called shitty
It's called Shitty Dad Syndrome.
shitty.
It's called being a shitty husband.
The NFL.
That's
the
how.
NFL
Listen,
came
I ain't
through
mad.
and
I
they
ain't
told
mad
me
at them
shitty.
dropping mental illness because every time somebody do
It's
something,
called
they don't like,
SDS.
everybody be like, "That must be mental illness."
No,
but if it's black person, put him in jail.
Stop. I'm diagnosed with SDS, shitty dad syndrome, and it's a mental illness. And Warnock, as a pastor, does not believe in forgiveness, because he'd have forgave me for that.
If he knew better, he know I'm valedictorian.
Who, Father?
I'm valedictorian.
I bet you. Now, the episode that films after, you're going to be able to say I'm right.
Was he hit in the head a couple of times?
Girl, many times.
So why are we talking about him
Listen,
like that?
I am
What
a
do you
national
mean?
champion.
He took a stage and said, I'm a public figure. Make a public shamockery of me. Please.
I'm going to be a good leader for the state of Mississippi.
Sir, you're running for Georgia. Oh,
Georgia.
yeah, there you go.
He ain't gonna get what do you do?
You should be thinking.
Man, it's contagious.
I agree.
It is so contagious.
I
agree.
What the lady said right there. Yes.
She speaks my language.
All right, Ben Crump listeners got sued by Dante Wright's baby's mother.
It's only a matter of time.
I knew it was coming. So Dante Wright's baby's
Why you
mother.
knew it was coming?
Because it's hard to represent a group of people when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm.
Money always brings division, okay? And people will always fight over money. Anytime you want to find...
You think Crump's a good guy?
I really do think Crump's a good guy. And let me tell you why I think he's a good guy. Because I watched his Netflix documentary, and I realized that when the man said he gets 3,000 phone calls at his law firm a day, I almost clutched my pearls. I just couldn't... with people with problems, real problems.
Mm-hmm.
One of the young ladies in his documentary was a black female who had minor children she was trying to take care of. She didn't abort, just like most people want her not to.
Good for her.
And she
Strong
got a
black
$90
woman.
paycheck, and she went into the bank. And when she went into the bank, the white female banker thought she stole the check, and the check was fraudulent, snatched the check from her, wouldn't give her the check back, closed the doors to the bank, pushed her out, and called the police on her for a $90 check. This young lady was filming and filmed the two law enforcement officers. Kudos to the cops in that video that took her to Walmart and bought her some food for her children, because the $90 check and the money from it is what she was going to use to get items to feed her children. Long story short, I saw Ben Crump interacting with her. He took her case. In fact, his docuseries also shows where his partners are saying to him, we make so much more money off of personal injury. Why are we fooling with this criminal justice stuff? Because majority of the people they represent, remember, don't have any money. When I go to a Dante Wright's mother and father and stuff like that, it's the government that I expect to make right what was wrong. So some of the cases he might win, some of the cases he loses. Some of the cases he doesn't do anything other than, because people don't have a claim, other than bring light and shed light on their situation. And that's not inexpensive for him to do. It cost him money to do that, to fly all over the place. So I really think he's a good guy. What I loved about his series too is it appears from what they presented, he talks to his mother every single day.
Ooh, I couldn't do that.
So
I love you, Mom, but sometimes.
He does. He checks in with his mom, and it's great because it sounds like his mom is elderly.
She's probably a little old, small.
Yeah, she's
lady.
older. Yeah, and he was like,
probably
"Mom,
small. What if
guess
she was
what?
a tall? He tall lady.
I don't know how tall he is. I
He
can't
look
tell.
tall.
Cameras will fool you in terms of height, because I had no idea that Tom Cruise was that short. Because in any of his movies, he doesn't look short. He looks really tall, so I
He
couldn't
ain't
tell.
taller than the women. They about the same height. That's how you tell. You look
No,
at them
Camera
compared to-
angles too. Sometimes they'll trick you because they'll let the woman sit while he stands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to look at them when they're right up on each other.
Yeah, but sometimes they
And
won't
if
do
he's
that.
like this, looking down, and this high about to kiss her, and they can meet lips, then he's short. Because
Yeah, it's sometimes, I'm telling you, it's tough. It's
they
tough.
probably-
Because some people who are tall, when I see them, I'm like, oh my God, that dude is huge.
like
And you can't,
basketball players are a lot taller
then they
we-
appear.
when-
Than Camera. But Crump, I think he's a good guy because of what I saw him doing and the cases, and to be bothered with it is stressful. He's not eating. He's flying all over the place. He's
Yeah, I
never
guess that has to be
home.
stressful.
His wife and his daughter are always talking to him on FaceTime. You know, she's got events. His wife is going by herself. And I was like, oh my God, that reminds me of when one of the artists played God, and the phone was ringing all the time. One of the actors played God, and a God phone was coming through, and it was like, God, can I have this? And you could hear all the prayers in his ears, like, please God, could you save my children? Please God, could you sit me, make me healthy? And please God, do this. All that stuff was going on in there, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. But he's doing a whole.
Mickey Mouse just said.
Let me tell you something. I'm in the middle of explaining why I think Ben Crump is a great guy, and Diva decides
that's about as much of Mickey Mouse we can afford.
Take her daughter, watch, and wore it to the Diva set.
It looked good.
I'm gonna need you not to take the baby's items and wear them in the middle
I didn't know
of
Mickey
our
Mouse
show.
I didn't know that he just be telling the time off of.
Why not?
Off the strength?
Off the strength. Because it's not like it's 12 o'clock now. It's 12:37.
Yeah.
Like, where'd that come from?
He's trying to tell your daughter what time it is.
No, he told me what time
Yeah, it's a baby. It's a baby watch. But back to Ben Crump. I think he's a great guy. This lawsuit is kind of weird. It might be successful, though, because she's arguing detrimental reliance. She is saying that she's entitled to at least $500,000 or greater of the GoFundMe that they collected, because the GoFundMe, she was advised when Crump represented her also. She fired Crump as her attorney. And evidently she hired new attorneys, and they're going after Crump because their position is that the funds that she was promised during the time that they were raising funds was for the minor child, and that none of the GoFundMe money has been allocated to her or her minor son.
I understood that differently. I thought they were describing the firing by the parents.
No, the firing sounds as if she was also represented. So Crump represented her and the parents, and somebody might have
got fired.
She fired. They said after. No, they said he gave the money to his clients, which is the mother and the father, after being fired by her. That's what I drew from the complaint, which would make sense because she fired him as her attorney.
But if you as an attorney are holding on to funds for both of if all three of them are her clients, from what I'm saying, all of them were his clients, and they fired you, you don't allocate the money to all of the clients?
Well, what he should have done if the fight began before he gave out the money. Sometimes you give out the money first, and then the fight begins. Yeah. And then now it's too late because the money has already been given out. Yeah. And you're upset because he gave the money out and he assumed the parents was going to give her a cut. Yeah. And then the parents said, we're not giving her draw. Right? And now it's your problem. But the only thing you can do as an attorney is file a response to say, 1, the money is not mine. 2, the money was distributed before there was a dispute between the 3 parties. You understand?
But if you put the terms in, I'm saying that if what she's saying is true, that the terms said 50-50.
No, there was no term. She's relying, detrimental reliance in her lawsuit is you said something to me verbally that caused me to believe you. This is not a contract dispute, right. So there was nothing in writing. So not that contracts can't be oral contracts, right. But what she is saying is not that he contractually promised her something.
No.
But that they verbally led her detrimentally to rely on their words of, we're going to give you some of this money.
Right. So I'm asking from your perspective as an attorney. You have clients that you represent, all of them. There's a fund of money, account with money in it. They let you go, and now you got to cut checks. How do you cut checks? Do you cut checks to just whatever, one client, one name, that's it? Or do you put checks in everybody's name?
You're putting checks in everybody's name.
Right.
Only if at the time you're distributing the money, that person has a legal interest in it. She doesn't have a legal interest as a baby mama because there's no such next of kin.
So the check should have been in baby Dante's right name.
Well, he's still a minor. So there has to be a trust set up for the child because you don't just cut a check to a 5-year-old, 4-year-old.
Let's play this out. So the promissory or the words that we agreed to was that the baby's going to get some money.
No agreements.
Yeah, there's no agreement.
Me.
Right. So there's no meeting of the minds. It's not like, Dana, I offer you, and you say, for what consideration?
I don't think that's. from reading what she said, it was I was in the process of setting up my own account.
No, she didn't have her own account. She is saying
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
No. I read the complaint though. What happened is an account was set up and money was brought in.
That's not where I'm going.
No. She's talking about the pretense that I'm under the pretense that when you tell these people when you're collecting the money that it's going to my son, you're going to my son, my minor son. I didn't set up my own GoFundMe, and I had the right to go set up my own GoFundMe for my baby and to say I'm the baby mama. This is my GoFundMe and have two separate GoFundMes, and you denied me that opportunity to set up my own GoFundMe.
That's not what I'm saying. She knew that they had their own account. She was going to set up her own, period. But from reading the article, and again, the complaint is completely different from the article. Yeah,
because article ain't the lawsuit.
But
I'm looking at the lawsuit. You're looking at the article.
I'm going by what the testimony could possibly, or what the deposition is, or why was the reason why you ain't set up your own. This is where the perspective I'm coming from. So I get the legal aspect from what you're saying, but from what the article reads like I was in the process of setting up my own, but I was promised like, no, don't set up your own. We're gonna set up one for your son. Well, I was going to set up my own for my son. No.
Y'all are saying the exact same thing.
We are, but differently. Yes. We're saying the same thing, but in a different way. Yeah. So that's the same thing I was saying. When I was saying that
it wasn't like
there's an inference. You can draw an inference, and her lawyers could argue that there's no agreement.
Half of whatever we make is going to you.
Correct.
I just say that. We set up a GoFundMe, Dana, and half of anything.
You bitch better have my money.
Did I say Dana? I meant Dandis.
Let me say this.
Dandis.
Let me put this on record. Dandis. I don't really call black men bitches, so I do want to apologize. It was just in the spirit.
We're in a skit. We're in a skit. It's for edutainment. So in the spirit of the edutainment. I don't call
black men bitches. I think that's very disrespectful.
In the spirit of edutainment.
In the spirit of the joke.
No.
So I do apologize.
So if I say I promise you in $500,000 and there's $1 million in the thing, I have the means.
Right, because I hear the conversation like, we don't need 2 accounts. We need just one because it's going to look real.
No, those are arguments you could make as her attorney.
Yes.
That's arguments you're going to make as her attorney. But my attorney is going to say, what we're saying you don't have no.
Those arguments aren't necessary.
Right.
Right? Because I've promised to you
and you put the baby's name.
And I had the means to promise it to you. So I can't promise you $500,000 and I don't have nothing close to that in the bank. Right. It's not a real promise.
Correct.
You know I couldn't.
Because I could have had 0 when we making this promise. Yes. You're going to get 50% of whatever's in the account. Right. Well, there's 0. What if we collect 0? Then you get 50% of 0. Fortunately for you, that's one of the counts too. They want an accounting. Yeah. So there's 3 counts in the lawsuit. One of the counts is detrimental reliance. One of the counts is something else. And the third count is an accounting. They're saying, show us where the money came from and show us where the money went to.
Well, I went to this mansion that we got and these 5 cars that only 2 of us can drive, but and all this new furniture we got.
Well, the issue is.
We had to upgrade the trailer because I can't live in no trailer no more.
There is another side story here is a baby mama is not a title. You're not his wife, because remember, if she was married to Dante, this would be a different situation.
I don't think she arguing, I want money.
No. We understand, but what we're trying to say is, if she was married, the parents wouldn't have the right to it.
Because you have a next of kin.
She's
and
first.
That's her. She's first in line as spouse. Parents are out the way.
But the first in line is the heir.
No.
The first in line is
they don't go to
it's spouse, parents.
Oh.
No, spouse, children, parents.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. The second in line, first in line.
No. All right, rephrase.
Okay, please.
Yes.
Child of legal age, then parents.
Okay, so
here's your problem. If you're not married, spouse if you're married. If you're not married, parent.
Right. So, but if you have children,
it goes to the child after the parent.
Okay, what if the child is not legalized?
That's another thing. She could come back and say he's not legitimated. He was born out of wedlock and he doesn't inherit nothing from Dante. Goodbye.
Right. He might have been I guess he would be considered.
He's illegitimate.
A bastard.
He's illegitimate. Hello.
I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones, so
if the law
mostly
most
southern
states, yeah, most
is
states,
it a southern
yeah,
state? Is
most
this a southern state?
They were
Minnesota.
Yeah, but you got to remember that if the law of that state, because they could pass statutory law to prevent this issue from you just automatically inheriting from somebody. Because remember, they want to keep millionaires to be able to sleep with women, get her pregnant, and the child doesn't automatically inherit. So it's a way of stopgap for all these kids, and you could just go be wilding and do whatever you want to do as a man, and now you're not held accountable in terms of heirs and assigns. But if the state law in that jurisdiction is the child born out of wedlock cannot inherit, and he was never legitimated, she got another hurdle to cross. Because now she can't come back. Her hurdle would have to be detrimental reliance, because you promised me something. I relied on you. I could have set up my own GoFundMe, and then I could do with my GoFundMe what I pleased to do. That's the better argument for her. Because if she goes the other way and the child was born out of wedlock, she loses off the get-go.
Depending on the law.
Yeah.
So if she goes that way, let's say the laws don't speak to legitimization for an heir to.
Yeah, if the laws say that the child doesn't have to be born out of wedlock to be an heir.
It would be, in their situation, it would be child first.
No, parents still first.
Parents still first.
Because he wasn't married.
No, I said child.
It's still the parent.
It's still parent. So even if he has a child, it's still parent.
Correct.
It doesn't go if the child is an adult.
Goes to parent. So that's
when I was doing real estate.
That's why Trump. No, think about it. That's why Trump was comfortable with not policing it and protecting it.
Right, we're giving it. But
you think Trump is stupid enough to have let the parents take money that he may have had access to or control of, knowing that the risk was that it goes from Dante to the son?
No, that's why I was saying, like, the son is not of age to have an actual legal.
Well, you can bring a claim on behalf of a child.
Right.
You can bring a claim on behalf of a child.
Then it is okay. Then it is parent first.
No.
Okay,
You can bring a claim on behalf of a child.
Here's the thing. When we were in,
I mean, that's what's happening here.
When we did,
Yeah, that's my point. She couldn't bring a claim at all if that was the case. If the child was a minor and she couldn't do nothing, she couldn't bring the claim on behalf of the child.
When I was doing real estate and I had my real estate license, one of the things was survivorship. So is survivorship different than heir?
No, because yes, survivorship is different.
Okay.
So there's certain things you can do in terms of right of survivorship for property. So property law is different. Okay. So in property law, you can either
and then
no. Property law, it's right of survivorship. Right. So if you and I buy a piece of land, right, and I have a piece of land, we both have an equal portion interest in the piece of land. If I have in the deed that you get right of survivorship, right, immediately upon my death, 100% of that land passes to you. So my spouse can't argue.
Oh, I thought it was if two people were on it, then it, and they're not necessarily married. I mean, maybe this was Michigan law, and it's been a long time. So if you were to pass, it went to your husband, and me and your husband were on it.
Not under right of survivorship. That's why you don't want to put right of survivorship on there.
Okay.
Because there's other ways. It's not, okay, so you have right of survivorship it goes automatically to that person by operation of law. So now there's no legal interest for me to give to my spouse or to my kids, because I lost my legal interest. My 50% legal interest automatically went to you. So you can have it with tenancy at sufferance. There's other titles that come with property rights ownership that would preserve my 50% interest, and even if I passed it. Correct. Okay. And then my 50% interest would pass to my spouse and then to my children. Yeah. Yes. And if I have no spouse and I have no children, then to my parent. You understand what I'm saying?
Nearest heir.
Correct. It can go down the line. But if the right of survivorship exists, the right of survivorship takes my 50% on death and automatically gives it to you. Now you have 100% of it.
Okay.
You see what I mean? That's why it's important that when you do a will and you have property, that you make sure that the will lines up with property law. Because if it doesn't, there's something you can will to somebody that you lost legal interest to prior to your death.
Right.
Or at your death.
Now you waste.
And now you got no legal interest.
Money fighting a case that you ain't.
Now you got no legal interest to pass to anyone.
Right.
Because you have to preserve that legal interest in order to be able to hand it off to somebody else.
That's a good lesson for today. Let's get into that.
And Diva Court, episode 56.
Okay.
Is closed.
Was on.
I like that. That was tasty. Yes, it was. Is that a different kind of champagne?
You ain't let it breathe.
What are you talking about? We still in the middle of the show.
Well, what you clapping for?
Why you breathing?
Because I'm living. Because I'm alive.
Stop breathing.
No,
I'm alive.
if you keep messing up my recording, you might not be.
I'm gonna need you to stop.
Hey, was that a threat?
Hey.
Don't put it on the record.
No, he said that's a
already-
promise.
Well, according to Trump, I don't respect
hey,
promises.
That's a promise.
Dandis might not make another appearance.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you
Dandis.
something.
Okay, you
Shout
detrimental
out- I
rely.
want to give a shout out to Candace Owens because, girl, you doing your thing.
She making money. The pyramid scheme money.
Hey,
Exactly.
listen, I ain't too mad that she robbing all these white people.
I ain't
but
mad
I'm not
they
mad
are
either.
getting a benefit.
I ain't
They
mad
are
about
getting
it
a
either.
benefit. There's an offer, an acceptance,
mad about it
and
either.
consideration. Consideration
I ain't
is
mad about it.
they get to put out all this foolishness, and they get votes, and they can get seats, and they can
I ain't
get
mad about it
control
either.
of a Senate.
I ain't mad about
I
it
just
either.
don't feel like making my money. Like I would feel dirty. It feels like
I
prostitution.
wouldn't. It's
to
called
me.
capitalism.
Oh, really?
Mm.
So you don't have no limit on your
Then you
capitalism?
I
immediately
do.
feel.
Remember what I said
She
last week?
posed.
Should no woman be broke?
Or man?
There's a
Or
pole in any building.
Get your pole work. Pole
All right,
work,
listeners,
pole,
that's
pole work.
Diva Court episode 56. Please look for our episodes every Wednesday. Subscribe. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Ample.
and Google Podcasts. Look for our videos every Wednesday on YouTube where we're pushing them out for you. And as we say here on Diva Court, every time we close the show, we will drink to that.
Sponsored by Cutie Nails.
We got to drink to that.